Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the 2012 GDO exclusive. This is their Generations Deluxe wheelie figures. So with this video, I'm going to briefly explain what GDO is, give you a bit of history into the background of this figure. We're going to have a look at him in both modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to have a look at the accessories that come with him to help you know if yours is complete. Because I'm lucky enough to have one still in the packaging, we can have a look at that. We are, of course, going to have to do some comparisons with some other wheelie figures that we've had in the Generations toy line, as well as, of course, his Generation 1 original self, and indeed have a look at some of the other figures that have used the mold since I think this one was made, and of course the original use of the mold as well. So as you can see, loads to get through in this video. He's just about going to stay up, hopefully. But as I start to pop these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. Okay, so this is a bit of a strange, I suppose, pick, because let's be honest, he's not one of the most popular characters, which I don't really know why. He doesn't really bother me, but I know a lot of people have genuine dislike for the character. So GDO stood for Global Development Organization, and what they did in 2012 was they got a load of, I suppose, figures or molds, shall we say, that have already been used, and they redecoed them into completely different characters and figures, and indeed, as I say, released them in the Asian market. But a couple of years after most of the Generations like toy line started, so not the classic, the Generations in this packaging, which of course started in 2010. So you'll notice that we've got the English name and then some obviously Asian writing next to it, same as in the title here as well. And interestingly enough, there's quite a few more of these figures. I will be reviewing these on this channel. We've got the dual language on the back, and if you want to read the bio on wheelie there, you can pause it and you can read it at your leisure. Yeah, but they just, as I say, took existing molds, I suppose pretty much what Hasbro does all the time, redecoed them and give them completely different characters. The other interesting thing as well is that they even did two packaging variations where some came packaged in robot mode and some came packaged in alternate mode. Right, let's have a look at the alternate mode to start, because that's how he comes packaged, and I like it. I love this mold. I always thought it was great for Jazz. Whether it works for not with wheelie, I think the color scheme works. I think they didn't need to include the speakers, because obviously that was one of Reveal the Shield Jazz's, I suppose, bonus little things. Funnily enough, just to show you, you can store his catapult, which they've completely changed instead of the gun. Oh, you can store this on the underside, he says, making it look really difficult, but it shouldn't be. This should hold in there you go, like so, and it stores underneath, no issues whatsoever. Now all wheels are on individual pins, so these roll around no problem. I've already pointed out I like the color scheme. I think the tampographics on the front look great. If I was going to have like a little bit of a gripe, the windows are too translucent and you can see too much inside. You can still, if you wanted to, do the I suppose little gimmick, oh, I've just knocked that off, that you could do with the Reveal the Shield Jazz, which was, of course, you could fold the windows down and bring the speakers out on the outside, and if you wanted to play them as well. But as I say, it wasn't really a thing that wheelie ever did, so it's weird that they sort of kept it in, if you know what I mean, especially because you can lose these quite easily. So that's just to show you that you can angle them out of the vehicle, and indeed took them away in the vehicle as well. The instructions are great, because this is what they used to do, which I'm going to upload a separate video for you guys as well. It shows the car to robot, and on the reverse side it shows the robot to car, which I think is brilliant, because sometimes it can be a little confusing going backwards. Right, the packaging itself though is beautiful. It is in alternate mode, which is great, and of course it was just tie wrapped in, but we still had the plastic bubble. Right, one quick little look at his original Generation 1 self to see if you can see any sort of resemblance. I think maybe two, and that's just the colours. That's literally it, and yeah, probably the grey tyres, but otherwise, as I've already said, we recognise it as the Reveal the Shield Jazz mould, so there's not much more to say about that. It looks great. Let's come back and have a quick look at him in his robot mode then. So here we are with him in his robot mode. As I've said, apologies, no transformation process on this video. That's because I've separately uploaded it, and it's to keep the main length of this video down. So if you don't want to see it, you don't actually have to. One quick thing I will show you though, it does have the same little gimmick as the Reveal the Shield. So when you bring this down, you get like an auto reveal over the head. I suppose it was a little bit like the Automorph, which we were getting in the movie line figures, but of course it wasn't an official Automorph, but it sort of does it, and I just wanted to share that with you. So while we're here, we might as well have a look at the new head sculpt, because that's obviously nothing like Jazz's. It's not a bad head sculpt, to be fair. It's really quite detailed. He's got that ridiculous grin on his face, and otherwise from that, it's, as I say, I like it. Let's spin the head around. It will go all the way around. It will look up and down. It doesn't rock side to side, but it will spin around. The shoulders, you've got huge ball and sockets. You can just about make out under there, so you've got as much range of motion as you have with a ball and socket. You can come out just past a T if you like. You've got a swivel just under the shoulder, you've got bicep flexion, and you've got full wrist articulation and swivel as well. There is a waist swivel which is slightly hindered by the back, but you can spin that out of the way and indeed apply a lot more rotation to it. We can clip that up back in the way. Huge ball and sockets, I think. Let's have a look. Oops. No, they're just hinges on the legs, but they will swing and kick all the way up and all the way back. There is a swivel underneath the hip, there is a knee bend, and there's a huge bit of ankle tilting rather than rocking, in honesty. My only issue with this particular figure is sometimes it's quite awkward to get him to stand. That could be to do with the fact that you've got these big gaps here, which, you know, these are sort of his shins. They do come down, and you've got to get the heel sprues in the right sort of position, so it can be a little bit fiddly, but it's just a great big deluxe figure. I really like it. Again, size of it, it's one of them older deluxe figures, so that means it's quite big compared to some of the newer ones that we get. I suppose a good example is their strong arm from the newer toy lines. You can see she's being towered over by Wheelie, which makes no sense, but articulation is great on it, and again, for its age, so, you know, well over 10 years old, looks really good. Right, let's bring up some Wheelie figures just to have a quick look at. So we've got Generation 1 Original. There we go. There is one that I'm missing, funnily enough. I think it was from Universe. This is from the Prime Wars trilogy, and again, it's really weird to see Wheelie as a gigantic figure, because he's never really been a gigantic figure, as he's always been small. Then we've got, I'm going to bring this one out because this one sort of makes me laugh, because I sort of think that perhaps, you know, he annoyed Hasbro so much that they had to go and then make a proper version of him, which they did again in the core class. So they're getting smaller, to be honest, smaller and smaller. So this is easily the biggest variant of him. But you can pretty much get the same gist of the same colour scheme all the way through. As I've already mentioned numerous times, I'm not going to say it again, but I'm going to show you the original owner of the mould. And of course, I can in a second, if you want to, see the speaker gimmick on the back of this. So with Jazz, I've got him with his speakers out. With Wheelie himself, I've got them. Oh, I should have sorted that out. I'll sort that out in a minute. I've got the speakers tucked away, so let's put that there, stand him up properly, and then we've got a shattered glass stepper use of the mold. This isn't all of the uses of the mold, there's a couple of other BotCon exclusives, but it's interesting to see them all in a line, even though, you know, the colour scheme's vastly different. You can still get the gist that it is the same mold. Right, not much more to say about this particular figure. I hope you found it interesting looking at him, and as I say, I am going to be doing more of the GDO figures reviews on this channel as well. So there you go, that is the 2012 GDO Asian market exclusive Generations Deluxe Wheelie. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Take care.